Hi everyone, so today I want to show you how I made this card. So I'm calling this a Z-fold pop-up block card. Now I don't know if it already exists. I haven't seen anything like this before, I have to say. I've seen similar, like, you know, you Z-fold, but I've not seen this before. So I did, you know, I came up with all the measurements myself, so I'm claiming it as an original because I have not seen it before. So it folds down flat, it fits in an envelope for a 5x7 card, and it's quite cool. I just think it's quite cool. So the papers I used today for this was the Do Crafts Bluebirds and Roses pack from Paper Mania. Love these papers. I used the 12x12 because this was the paper I actually used, but some of these patterns are really big. And on normal cards, I find they're just a bit too big because I think this is really kind of aimed towards people who do scrapbooking, which I don't do. So yeah, but for this card and for panoramic panel cards, it's perfect. Now I'm going to be showing you a panoramic panel card version of this card, and I'll take you through step by step. So that's why you can see the pattern continues on throughout the 4 blocks. But you can, if you want to, just go ahead and just decorate it like you would a normal Z fold. Just use any old patterns. You know, it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to line up like mine do. But I thought if I show you how to do the panoramic version, and then if you want to do it, you can. And if you don't and you just want to do a normal version, it's very easy to switch to the normal version, whereas it's more difficult to switch to the panoramic version if you've just got the normal set of instructions. So yeah, so we'll be going through that. I'm not sure where I got my stamp and die cut from. I'm not sure where they came from. If I find it, I will let you know. And then on the back, you've got a nice little space for writing on. If you want to stamp a greeting, you can. But yeah, so that's the card. So let's get into it. Okay, so for this card, you need a few bits. It's not too bad. The base card, as you can see, my base card. I've gone for this... I think it's called Petal Pink, and it's single-sided pearlized card from Paper Mill Direct. Really nice colour, really nice finish. And maybe you can see that there. I think they do a double-sided as well, but I've just gone for the single-sided. So you need one piece that's 5x11, one piece that's 3 1/4 by 5 1/2, one piece that's 2 1/2 by 4 1/2. And one piece that's 1 1/2 by 3 1/2. Okay, now you can see I've already scored mine. So on the first piece, the 5x11, you're going to score it at 2 inches and at 4 inches. And all you're going to do is you're just going to do the classic Z fold fold. So you're going to fold a mountain, and then the other one is going to be a valley. Okay, so just going to fold this one back like that. So you end up with a classic Z fold card. Then on the next one, which is the 3 1/4 by 5 1/2, you're just literally going to sorry, you're going to score at 1 1/2, 3 1/2 and 5 along this long edge. And then these are going to be folded with a mountain, a mountain and a mountain. They're literally going to be 4 mountains. When I started that sentence, I didn't remember that I needed 4 mountains. So that's why I didn't just say 4 mountains. So let's just give that a burnish. Like that. Okay, so you should end up with that. Okay, so we're just going to leave that there for now. Then the next one, which is the 2 1/2 by 4 1/2, you're going to score at 1 inches, at 3 inches and at 4 inches. Okay, and again, these all need to be mountain folds. Okay, so next we're going to move on to the 1 1/2 by 3 1/2, and for this one you're going to score it at 1/2 inch, at 2 1/2 and at 3 inches. Now you will only end up with a little bit at the end there, but that's fine. Now on mine, because mine is actually 3 1/4, not 3 1/2, because that was what I managed to get. So I only used one sheet of card for all of this base card, these base pieces. And so in order to be able to use only one sheet, I had to make this 3 1/4, not 3 1/2. So my tab is only 1/4 inch wide. Yours should be 1/2 inch if you're using 3 1/2 inches. Okay, so we're going to go and mountain fold all of these. Okay, So now we're going to bring the main base piece back in again. So this is our main base piece. Now we need to decorate the back and the two sides before well, actually no, the back and the side, actually, not this one, because this is going to be different. So we need to do the back and the side first of all. So when you need to get yourself some mats and layers, mats and patterns. So you're going to need 2 mats that are 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. One of them will go on the front here and one of them will go on the back here. Okay, and you also need a pattern piece, well, one pattern piece, which is 4 1/2 by 6 1/2, and then a plainish piece. You can go for plain white or you can go for a plain pattern. I've gone for this. It is patterned, but it's quite plain. I could write a sentiment on that. It would be fine. So that's going to go on the back. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to stick this into here and that one onto the back. Okay, so you should end up with that on the front and that on the back. Now on this side panel here and on the front, you need 2 matte layers. And these matte layers are 3 1/4, no they're not, hang on a second. They are 1 3/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, now you also need one pattern piece. We're going to need 2 pattern pieces, and I'll explain in a minute. So the one that you definitely need is going to be here, and that is going to be 1 1/2 by 4 1/2. So I'm going to stick that down onto there. Now this one on the front, because of the way this is going to stick together like this, okay, you can do it like a panoramic panel card if you want. So I'm going to be doing it as if it's a panoramic panel card. If you just want to do your own pattern and you maybe want to do the same pattern here and do different things on these fronts, then ignore, you can do that, okay? If that is the case and you do want to do it just as a normal card, not a panoramic panel card, then you will need 2 mats that are the same and 2 patterns that are the same. Okay, so your pattern size is the same. So your 1 1/2 by 4 1/2, you need 2 of them, and your mat 1 3/4 by 4 3/4, you need 2 of them, and that will stick down. But because I'm not doing that, yeah, I don't need to do that. So what I'm going to do for now is I am going to stick this one down here, and I am going to stick my mat down, and then in a minute we're going to cut the pattern down as if it's a panoramic panel card to make it kind of fit. But as I said, if you wanted to do your own and like a normal pattern, you can. But I just thought it kind of lends itself to a panoramic panel type card. So why not, because that's the more complicated version, why not show you how to do that version? And then if you want to do a simpler version and just use normal patterns and not have to worry about lining patterns up, then you can go ahead and do that. And it's relatively simple to flip across to that, whereas it's not simple to flip the other way. So let's just stick this down here. Okay, so I've stuck down the side and I've stuck down the mat for the front, but obviously not the pattern, as I explained. So now what we're going to do is take your first piece of card. Now you can use wet glue for this, but I'm going to go ahead and use tape because I'm obviously doing this as part of a video. I need it to stick straight away, and if I'm having to hold it in place. Also, my card is quite thick, and I feel like it's going to undo itself. So what we want to do is if we just fold it along that second score line, so not this one here, fold on the second score line, and we're going to put tape on here, but also on that little tab there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this tape on. Okay, so you should end up with that. So we're going to put that to one side for the moment, and we're going to repeat it on all of these other 2 panels. So you're going to put, again, if you have it, so you've got your tab on the right hand side, you want all of that panel covered and that little tab covered. Okay, so you should end up with 3 pieces that look like that. So what we want to do first, before we actually stick it into the cards, you want to decorate it up. So you will need some matte pieces. So these pieces are, I'm just going to get my ruler because I have got it written down, but I can't remember which one's which. So this is 1 3/4 wide by 3 inches, and that's going to go on there like that. You want another piece that is 1 3/4 inch wide by 2 1/4, and that's going to go on there like that. And then another one that's 1 1/4 wide by 1 3/4, and that's going to go, well, actually 1 3/4 by 1 1/4. So that's going to go on the end there. So we're going to go ahead and stick those down. Okay, so that's your 3 panels done. Now, if you are just doing a normal pattern paper, you're not going to bother with a panoramic, then what you need is obviously I've already covered the mat for there, the pattern for there. The 3 patterns here, you need one that is 1 1/2 by 2 3/4, one that's 1 1/2 by 2, and one that's 1 1/2 by 1. Okay, so that's what you're going to need. If you're going to do the panoramic panel, then what you will need is you'll need a piece of pattern paper that's 6 inches by 4 1/2. Obviously work out where you want your pattern to be. So if you look at this now, if I lay that on there, I'm going to get like that bit there of the bird on that front panel. And then I'm going to lose a bit, I'm going to lose a bit, and I'm going to lose a bit. Okay, so I'm going to lose, like with the panoramic panel we did the other day. So let's put these bits to one side for a second. So what you want to do is you want to cut this up into 1 1/2 inch strips along the long edge. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I've cut them into 1 1/2 inch strips, and now this first piece on the left, that can literally go straight on to there because it fits perfectly. Okay, now the next one down, which is going to fit on this strip here, this next one, you need to take 7/8 off the top and 7/8 off the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so you end up with this, which then should fit nicely, hopefully, on here. Yep, so that's fine. So that's that one done. The next smallest piece is this one. And so on this next piece, you want to take off 1 1/4 off the top and 1 1/4 off the bottom. So this is what I'm saying about with the pattern. So obviously I'm going to basically cut the whole of that flower out. So if I wanted that flower, I should have positioned it more centrally. So 1 1/4 inch off the top and 1 1/4 off the bottom. Okay, so that's my middle one, which is there like that. And then all we've got left is this one on the end. And this one on the end, we need, in fact, I think this needs to be the way around, And this one on the end, we need to take off 1 3/4 off the top and 1 3/4 off the bottom. Okay, so I've cut them all down, so I'm just going to go ahead now and stick them all into place. Okay, so you should end up with that. So now what we want to do is start assembling it. So if you take your the biggest one that was next on, and you want to stick this on. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the tape off here like that, and then you just want to line this up so that it's pretty much in line with what's, where the pattern is, and it's hopefully going to be central top and bottom. And you want to make sure this goes right into the corner of that crease. Okay, and when you're happy where it is, just stick it down so you end up with that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fold it along this line, and you might find it better if you fold it back this way. So fold this bit flat, fold this bit down, so you've got the tab and then a section, and then fold that over the top. That might be easier. And then when you open it up, you see how it just pops up. Now you do have all of this inside here, so if all that white offends you, or if that's whatever colour, you might want to just cover it, or I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to bother, but yeah, it could be something that you want to mat and layer. So then you can take the next one. So we're going to take off the backing off this left hand side. And then that is going to go right into the crease here. And again, you want to make sure it's sort of level, this central top and bottom, it's right in that crease. The pattern marries up, and then you're going to end up with that. and then we're going to take off the backing strips here. And then what you want to do is fold that along that line there, like that, and then stick it down like that. And then it just automatically sticks in the right place. And then last but not least, and again, make sure that you've got this the right way around. So we're going to stick this one side first. And again, just going to make sure that's central, top and bottom. Make sure that's in properly. And then take the backing off this side. Fold along that second line, fold that under, and then just stick the whole thing down. And so that way, when you open it up, you get that great pop-up box thing. Your pattern continues on, but you've also, it stands up nicely, and it also folds down flat. Now, when you come to sticking your greeting on, just make sure that when it folds flat, your greeting doesn't pop off the edge here. Okay, so I'm just going to find a greeting now, and I'll be back with you in a second. So I cut out a thanks, and I'm just going to stick that on there. I felt like it needed a letter, you know, like a cut out word rather than anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that down. And I'm going to put it on pads. And one thing you do need to check is that when, so if I'm stick that, oh, I can't even pick it up. If I'm going to stick that there, then when it closes down, I need to make sure this doesn't pop off the edge. So for example, if I was going to stick that here, then when it folded down, I'd run the risk of that popping off the edge there. So you just want to bear that in mind. Okay, so there's the finished card, and I think what I might do is I might add on some little blingy bits, just a little bit of gems here and there, maybe in the foliage, or I'm not quite sure, but it just needs, I feel like it needs something else, or maybe even like 3 gems here and 3 gems here. I don't know, no, I shall do something to it, but yeah. So that's the card. I hope you like it. Please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. I hope to do some live streams. I might have already done one by the time this goes up, I don't know, but I do hope to do some at some point. If you hit the notification button and also obviously subscribe first and hit the notification, then you will get notified when I do a live stream. Yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.